When rugby league fans make the annual pilgrimage to Wembley, they expect the teams to put on a show and give them a treat. They looked forward to the 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final with eager anticipation. For both Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers had earned a reputation for throwing the ball about in style, and they weren't to be disappointed. Rovers had to battle through a replayed semi-final before reaching Wembley, and they'd lost their second-row partnership of Burton and Hogan, ironically both broken-arm victims. They also had a hectic finish to their league programme and set off for Wembley with the memory of a 47-0 drubbing at Wigan in their final game. Castleford had no such problems, although hooker Kevin Beardmore caused Coach Reilly a worried moment with a touch of flu. On the Wednesday morning, the players and officials assembled at the ground before leaving for their Wembley headquarters. They looked a picture in their blue blazer suits, and they oozed confidence from every pore. Wives and girlfriends, kith and kin, and any number of fans turned up to wave them off. It was obvious that the team's success was being enjoyed further afield than just Weldon Road, a point not lost on club chairman David Poulter.
Well, I think after sort of 2 years of depression with the strike and other things, the glassworks closing down, etc., this has come as a tremendous boost to the town. Wherever you've gone in the town the last couple of weeks, people are walking on air.
I think they're going to regard you as a lucky chairman as well, aren't they?
Certainly are, and I feel I have been a lucky chairman. 4 out of 5 times in semi-finals, and the 4th time with Aire. Unfortunate for the previous chairman, I'm the lucky one.
It's going to be a proud moment for you walking out with the team.
Without a doubt, yes it is, John.
Pride is a valuable commodity in small-town teams. Apart from the 2 Aussies, French and Sandy, and winger David Plange, all the boys were local. None of them had even played for another professional side. Pride on the field and pride behind the scenes as well, with Castleford boasting the only woman secretary at a Challenge Cup final. Denise Cackett admitted that life was hectic since Wembley had become a reality, but even though her workload had increased dramatically, she was loving every minute of it.
Definitely, I think I'm very lucky actually. I'm thankful that the directors gave me the job 4 years ago and gave me the opportunity of being First Lady Secretary. It's a dream come true, really. This is my 3rd year as secretary, third semi-final that we've actually managed to get through. The first semi-final, I wasn't secretary, so it is my 3rd time lucky. And
there's also a lot of nice people here who I think a lot of people are pleased for.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the chairman, it's wonderful for him, it's his first year. All the players are great, the backroom staff are smashing, the atmosphere's fantastic, the assistants I've had in the office as well, there's Marjorie and George, they've all been great, they really have. They've been a godsend. I don't know how I'd have got on without them all.
Who's going to win the cup?
Well, I must say Castleford once. I suppose I'm a bit biased, but Hull Kingston have taken a cup from under our nose twice. I think we'll do our best to alter that this time.
Prophetic words from a loyal club servant. The Friday before the final is the traditional day for taking a pre-match look at the old Empire Stadium. This time the Castleford party was greeted by the sight of new aluminium goalposts and a much-repaired playing surface. The players gazed in awe at the empty terraces, trying no doubt to imagine how they'd look when full of swaying, cheering masses. The wives, however, had something quite different in mind. It wasn't exactly Eurovision stuff, but it came from the heart.
Rockin', rollin', riding on the Wembley train. All black and amber are leaving Weldon Lane. Our team are the greatest, this we have to prove. Nearly all the papers are backing us to lose. First we knocked out non-splits, they didn't stand a chance. Then we took on Barrow and led them all a dance. We gave up the struggle as it was in vain. Then we knocked out Oldham and caught the Wembley train. Rockin', rollin', riding with a bit of luck. We'll stay to Hull KR and come back with the cup.
It was a sticky, humid afternoon, but match day dawned cloudy and threatening. Cool replaced heat, and down came the rain in a squally shower. Some ran for cover, but in the final build-up to the highlight of the season, most people were just happy to be there.
The atmosphere building up out here. Another couple, I take it, it's man and wife. I've not got it wrong, have I? Your name?
Jean Kemp.
I think it's my wife, anyway.
Yeah, and you're
Bill
Kemp. And whereabouts are you from?
Kippax.
That's not far away from Cass. Obviously a Castleford supporter.
Definitely.
All right, I'm not going to ask you who's going to win. Let's have a score forecast.
14-10, because if it is, I'll win 100 quid.
You're a Cass supporter, obviously. Whereabouts are you from, lovey?
Airedale.
Airedale, what's your name?
Sharon Pinton.
And your boyfriend?
Ian Pepworth.
And you're from Airedale?
Now I'm from Castleford.
What about the scoreline this afternoon?
Castleford 18-14.
12-10.
Cas 18-12. Cas.
What's your name?
Martin Rowling.
Mick Mitchell.
Chris Lund. Steve Gale.
Finally on Empire Way, I've bumped into a man who was a Castleford Cup winner in 1935, Jim Crossley. I bet you're going to enjoy yourself today.
Yes, looking forward to it. Looking forward to us winning. And I think we're here with a chance.
Do you remember much about 1935?
I remember everything. Great atmosphere. It was wonderful.
Yeah. And possibly you'll relive one or two of those moments today.
I shall, yes.
Inside the stadium, Tony Christie led the traditional community singing. Her Royal Highness, the Princess Alexandra, met the teams, and I was joined in the press box by co-commentator Dave Dalton and our summariser, the Great Britain coach Maurice Bamford. Then Robin Whitfield blew the first whistle of the afternoon, and the 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final was underway. From the early play, it was obvious why Rovers coach Millward had delayed team selection. His potential match winner Gavin Miller was playing on one leg, victim of a hamstring injury before the game. It was another cruel blow for the Robins, but Castleford were in no mood to show sympathy to anyone, least of all the opposition.
Scrum going down just a few yards from that far touchline, and Castleford, I just wonder what the knocks to Joyner and Marchant might do to them. But Beardmore puts it in the scrum again. He comes round the back of the scrum with the ball. He's come a long way back to the right. He gives it to Gary Lord. Gary Lord drives forward. Only makes a couple of yards before he's brought down in centre field. John Joyner now quickly just transfers the ball across to Martin Kettridge. Kettridge, this one-man rugby, they're just trying to drive them down the middle, possibly looking for the opening then. Bob Beardmore. Beardmore to Joyner, to Kevin Ward. Kevin Ward just strides out of a tackle. He gives it to Tony Marchant. Tony Marchant's going down the right wing. He looks, he turns the dummy. This could be the first try. Tony Marchant, he's in! Tony Marchant puts the points on the board. A fine try for Castleford on 20 minutes. What a good break, Maurice Bamford.
Well, that was a break, Dave, of an international centre. That was an international finish to a try. Almost 50 yards. And my word, I'm pleased for Tony Marchant, one of the nicest kids in the game, a very unassuming player. And in that run there, he showed pace, he showed attitude in picking up the pass when he did, and above all, he showed a marvellous dummy to George Fairbairn, who took it hook, line and sinker, and that was one of the finest individual tries seen at Wembley for many years.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Maurice, but before the try was made, the run of Beardmore and Kevin Ward breaking through that tackle, that contributed well to it.
Makes my heart feel very warm indeed, Dave, when both two of my squad members, who came under a little bit of criticism for selection, one Kevin Ward with a superb half break and a beautiful time pass, and the absolutely devastating finish of Tony Marchant, where it makes me feel very warm indeed.
I think it means the Castleford supporters warm. Away to my left above the tunnel, the amber flags and banners being waved as Martin Kettridge tries to make this 6 points to nil instead of the 4. Tony Marchant just had another little bit of treatment. In comes Kettridge, stutters to one side, right-footed, it's straight through the middle, the flags are up. 21 minutes gone, Castleford lead Hull Kingston Rovers in this 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final by 6 points to nil. And suddenly there's a buzz from the Castleford end. And
it was the ideal start for Cass, and they grew in confidence as the game progressed. Rovers were struggling to put anything together, and they looked to stand off half John Dorahay for inspiration. He provided it when Keith England was penalised for lying on in the tackle.
26 minutes gone then. Castleford lead by 6 points to nil. A try on 20 minutes from international centre Tony Marchant, a half the length of the field run. Martin Kettridge booted the goal, and Castleford justifiably, in my opinion, in the lead at the moment. But we've seen Hull Kingston Rovers, and we've certainly heard about them because, of course, at Elland Road they were 12 points to 2 down at one stage against Leeds in the semi-final, and my word, they certainly hit back in that one to level at 24 apiece and go on and win the replay. So you can never count Rovers out. John Dorahay steadying. You can hear the whistling in the background. That's coming from the Castleford fans. That's the end that he's going to kick towards Dorahay. He's 10 yards, 11 yards if you stretch it, inside the Castleford half of the field. He'll kick right-footed when he makes his mind up. He's stepping back now. It's a stuttering retreat that he has. He goes back 4 and 5 and another one. He'll steady himself. He comes forward now. He kicks right-footed. The ball's in the air. Difficult for me to tell from this position, but the touch judge is certainly happy about that one. So 27 minutes gone, and Rovers are back in, and that, Maurice Bamford, will make them feel very good indeed.
Yes, bringing them back to 6-2. It's just what I said they wanted earlier on. They wanted some form of points on the board, John, and they've got them. But what a pleasure to see the old-fashioned...
Now Castleford knew they had a fight on their hands. Rovers picked up the pace and tested young fullback Gary Lord and his colleagues on defence. Cas, though, still held the upper hand, and they moved back onto the attack in marauding style.
And Castleford have got a very good heel there, and John Joyner's going up towards the line, and Joyner, who's waited 14 seasons for a Wembley appearance, is held as he was in the early stages of the game, just a couple of yards short of the line. Gary Lord's up and two, and Lord looking to see if he can make progress towards the line, but he's thrown bodily back. So Castleford then just got 3-4 yards at the most to go. There's a loose boot on the field. Kevin Beardmore to Barry Johnson, and Barry Johnson's held up a yard short of the line. And Rovers are really under pressure now. Cats with the tails up. They already lead 6-2. Can they get some more points on the board? Ian French turns away, and French is running across the field. He can't make that progress in the right direction, French, and Cats have been pulled back, pushed back. 10 yards short now they are of the line. Kevin Beardmore acting half-back to Kevin Ward. The 1-2, and Ward, he looks as if he's going to play the 1-2. He does get the ball back to Gary Hyde, and Hyde looks for route one. And has he been held a yard short? In fact, the final tackle coming up. Cats have got to make it count now. Barry Johnson across the line, the drop goal from Robert Beardmore, and it's there. Yes, it's there. The drop goal from Robert Beardmore. Robin Whitfield, the referee, right on the spot.
7 points to 2 was now the lead, and it stayed that way until we moved into the final minute of the first half.
And the tap taken 10 yards outside the 25, and it's David Blange on first man. Comes inside, goes off his right foot, makes another 10 yards. Kevin Beardmore now to Barry Johnson, switching it across to the left. There goes Kettridge driving forward, one of these second row forwards that Maurice Bamford is very impressed with so far in this game. Bob Beardmore to Kevin Ward. Ward going across field, but he's made halfway. He turns, he looks for the support as he's tackled. It's not there. He just drags the ball into his body, accepts the tackle, and plays it now to Kevin Beardmore, to Barry Johnson. Johnson brings it back this way to Bob Beardmore. Beardmore to England, and a bad pass by England. It set Kelly up. Kelly's given it to Prome, and Hull Kingston Rovers are going to get back in. The tackle comes late. Gary Prome goes in for the try for Hull Kingston Rovers. But the mistake there on halfway by Keith England, Morris.
Yes, what an unfortunate thing me saying is having such a good game when Keith England did everything expected of him. He took the pass from Bobby Beardmore, made a good 15-yard surging run, turned to look for support, and he passed it straight into the hands of Gary Prome, and that of course is absolutely suicidal. He just turned it. Gary had possibly 40-45 yards to run, threw his ears back, picked his knees up, and made it just at the despairing tackle of Tony Marchant as hit him on the line. Terrible look for Keith England, who was at such an outstanding game.
And meanwhile, John Joyner pulling his troops back behind the line. I think he's reading the riot act to them there behind the post. Kevin Ward was a little late coming back, and he, I think, felt the lash of his captain's tongue. But Castleford now got it all to sort out. 7 points to 6 they lead at the moment, but this conversion by Joe Cool, John Dorahay, could put Hull Kingston Rovers in front, and possibly in front for half-time. 39 minutes, just a minute of this first half of the 1986 Challenge Cup final left. But as usual, John Dorahay taking plenty of time. He won't worry about the whistles, he won't worry about the boos. He's set it up now, the torpedo style, the style Maurice Bamford likes, and it's going to be a toe-ender, but he's not ready yet. He's decided he's not ready, like the snooker player walking away from the table. But John Dorahay goes back now, pacing himself out, this slow backward march. And again, the Castleford supporters whistle and they boo. But in comes Dorahay, he kicks. And has that gone wide of the post? Yes, it has. He's missed it all that time, and he missed it. So Castleford possibly at the hooter, and in fact, that is the hooter for the end of the first half. And Castleford going with their noses in front, 7 points to 6. But I suspect that Malcolm Reilly will have something to say to them, certainly about giving that try away right at the end of the half.
Well, whatever it was he did say, it worked like a charm, because Cats resumed in no mood to surrender even a yard of space. And with the identical Beardmore twins in sparkling form, they soon had Rovers stretched once again.
Kevin Beardmore, Robert Beardmore, and the ball turned away there, back inside to Ian French, and French tumbles as he's tackled, and he goes up towards the halfway line, and Cass will be desperate really, and a good pass there from Barry Johnson to John Joyner. The ball across the line to Gary Lord, to Tony Marchant, and Tony Marchant's got a lot of work to do, but he's cut 2 men out, and he did very well there, Marchant stepping inside. It was all a little untidy there for Castleford, but they made very good progress, and they're now some 40 yards short of this Hull Kingston Rovers line. And Robert Beardmore once again with the up and under. Well, that was certainly up, not quite under. The ball coming down, bouncing inside the Rovers 25, and the ball's put back with one hand there by, it looked like Gavin Miller to me, putting that ball back with one hand, and George Fairbairn glad to drop on that ball 10 yards from his own line. John Dorahay, Fairbairn coming out on the run, and a good run it is too, up towards his own 25-yard line. Still 7 points to 6 to Castleford, the West Yorkshire team in the lead against the Robins of Hull Kingston Rovers. Peter Johnston goes over the 25-yard line. 2 Castleford men burying him in a tackle, and good tackling it is too. They're holding tight and they're holding firm. The ball coming across the line. Today's official attendance, by the way, here at the Wembley Stadium, 82,134 people are inside to see this 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final. Castleford in the lead at the moment by 7 points to 6. Rovers, though, in possession, halfway inside their own half of the field. Turning the ball back to Dorahay. He was going to kick, changed his mind. He had Fairbairn at the side of him there, threw the long ball to Fairbairn. He kicks, Gary Lord gathers, and gathers well. Gary Lord on the burst, comes up towards the halfway line, turns the ball back inside to Sandy. There was precious little cover there if Sandy hadn't collected, and there was almost an interception, and the little man goes over the halfway line, and a good little run that was from Sandy. Came as a standoff half, developed into a utility back. He's also played at full back as well as in the centre, and now appears in this Challenge Cup final on the wing. Robert Beardmore from acting half back to Barry Johnson to Martin Ketteridge, and we have to start calling him Jock now, by the way, Jock Ketteridge, because we find out in fact he was born in Dundee and not in West Yorkshire. Robert Beardmore throws the dummy, looks for the gap. Beardmore lacks perhaps just that little bit of acceleration to make it through the gap, but nevertheless causes the Robins all sorts of problems. Kevin Beardmore to Kevin Ward, and Kevin Ward across the 25, and Wardy held upright in the tackle and eventually tumbled to ground on that far side of the field, but he's crossed the 25. These early moments of the second half, we're almost 3 minutes into the second half now. Vital ones indeed. Robert Beardmore with a little grubber kick through, and has Beardmore got the pace to get the try? He has, and he does! Oh, what a great try for Robert Beardmore. And Gary Promes furious about that. Promes collected the ball, and Promes absolutely furious, but he's been done. No question about that, Morris.
Well, we've just been speaking earlier about Bob Beardmore possibly lacking a yard of pace, but my word, he stuck his own little grubber kick through the Hull Kingston first line of defence.
Well, Ketteridge failed from the touchline with his goal attempt, but once more Cass had made the vital breakthrough, and they led 11-6. Bob Beardmore was on his way to winning the Lance Todd Trophy, but running him close was the little man from Brisbane, Jamie Sandy. He'd flown in from Australia especially to take part in the final, and now he showed just why Malcolm Reilly, in the face of some criticism, had picked him to play on the wing.
Bob Beardmore puts it in. Bob Beardmore for the umpteenth time brings it away, flicks it across to Joyner. Joyner the half break, he goes down the middle, he turns it into Jamie Sandy. Jamie Sandy jinks one way, he's going for the line, there's 3 men on him. Jamie Sandy is in, he is! Jamie Sandy scores for Castleford. 22 minutes of the second half gone. The touch judge is in, there's all sorts going on there. And I wonder, Jamie Sandy had a great start to the game, and I wonder if that try might be a possibility for the Lance Todd, Maurice Bamford.
As you'll know, on potential Lance Todd winners, and right from the start I've penciled in Jamie Sandy. Every time he's had the ball, he's beat his first man. Although John Boyd earlier in the commentary said that he didn't like in particular running so many times from acting half-back, he was taking pressure off the Castleford forwards, coming in from the wing to acting half-back and making ground, and he's topped it all now with an absolutely cracking try, and who knows, that just may have won him it. I rate Bobby Beardmore very high for it. He's had a superb game, and it's got to come from the Castleford team, Dave. The Castleford team again have proved their ascendancy as the game's going on. They had a little bit of lapse of 2 minutes where the edge went a little bit, and they've come back slap bang into the game. A superb performance.
And there again, John Joyner, the first devastating break we've seen from him to set it up. But the incident, I didn't see what happened. I was going bananas with the try, but there was an incident as the players piled in there. Gary Lord receiving attention, and John Lydiot has had a stern word from referee Robin Whitfield. Did you see what happened, Morris?
Yes, it stemmed from Bobby Beardmore's initial thrust from the scrimmage. He drops John Joyner off inside him, and Lydiot came through very, very late indeed and flattened Bobby, and this happened possibly on the halfway line, and of course a astute piece of good judges and refereeing, they allowed play to go on and then gave the player the warning when the play was ended.
Well, Gary Lord in the meantime is being substituted, but it's a straight swap because it'll be David Ruckley, the number 14, to come on in his place, but the referee not allowing him to come on just yet because Martin Ketteridge from way out on the touchline, just down below me to my right, he's 26 yards from the goal line, but from the goals with the angle it's quite a long kick, but Martin Ketteridge capable of these, but at least being a right footer, he's likely to curl it in. The Castleford banners waiting to be raised again, but they're not going to to be raised. It's a bad kick. It squirts right across the field, but at least 15 points to 6 in Castleford's favour now, and that does mean that Hull Kingston Rovers are going to have to score.
So we moved into the final quarter of an hour, and Castleford seemed to be coasting to their 4th Wembley Cup win. But Rovers weren't finished yet, and Gary Prome was determined that his final game in England was going to be a winning one, if at all possible.
Meanwhile, Sandy came away with the ball, but then Castleford again, a tackle has knocked the ball out of their possession, and Emma it is who brings it away, or plays the ball to Gavin Miller. Miller to Mike Smith. Mike Smith feints the pass to Lydiot, and then accepts the tackle and goes down. Emma now drives down that right-hand side, only 10 yards from the Castleford line as Hull Kingston Rovers push forward. They've got to score twice if they're to lift this trophy, and they're trying very hard to get the first of those scores. Dorahy to Fairbairn in the line. He gives it to Kelly. Kelly's nowhere to go. He's trying to find somewhere to go, but Tony Marchant's got him by the scruff of the neck, swings round on him, finally makes the tackle, but is there a bit of space there? And Prome has gone in the corner. Has he got the try? Yes, he has. The little bit of space there, and Gary Prome goes in for his second try of the match. So the pressure from Hull Kingston Rovers paid off there, Morris.
Yes, and this showed the overall physical strength of Gary Prome. When he went into the corner, it was well covered. 3 or 4 yellow jerseys there into the corner, but Prome's strength, his experience, his desire, I should think, Dave, to make up for the slip-up when Bobby Bainmore scored his try, took him over for his second try of the game.
And the first possible little bit of slackness there, Morris. You were saying earlier that the Castleford lads just looking a little bit down. Obviously the try lifted them, but they are getting a bit tired at this stage.
Yes, and also you've got to remember that at 15 points to 6 just before Prome's try, it looks as though they were home and dry. And who knows, this old enemy complacency, just a little bit may have set in, where 10 minutes before they'd have been knocking Prom down in that situation. Oh, it's okay, lads, with 15 points to 6 in front. Does it matter we go in? It matters. It's vital it matters, David. They've got to tackle, if they're 100 points up in Wembley or in test matches, in the first minute as they do in the last. And any time you ease off, you can be in trouble. Just proved it there.
None of the action being missed while Morris was talking there, because it's John Dorahy to take the conversion, and he really does like to take his time. He's got the ball torpedo fashion just a yard in from that far touchline. The Hull Kingston Rovers left, the far side of the ground from the Royal box. And now in comes John Dorahy. It's kickable for a man of his calibre, but it drops wide of the post, so 15 points to 10 is the Castle.
And that's how it seemed it would end. The last minute of normal time was upon us, accompanied by the usual round of whistles from the fans at the Castleford end of the stadium. The timekeeper, though, had to bear in mind the delay when a concussed Rovers forward, Des Harrison, was removed from the fray, and that meant injury time. And that was all the spur that Rovers needed to launch a last desperate attack.
Rovers then in possession. Gordon Smith, the long ball across the line to John Lydiot. Lydiot's got Clark outside him. He gives it to Clark, but Clark turns inside. 3 Castleford men look to nab him. They all miss him. Ian French goes in with a desperate flying tackle. He misses out on that one too. But in fact, Clark is stopped, but not before he gets inside that 25. Time up on my watch. Time up on my watch here at Wembley Stadium. Castleford 15, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. Gary Prome shakes off the first tackle. Oh, we're going to have a dramatic finish here at Wembley. Shakes off the second tackle, steps back inside, turns the ball to John Dorahy. The ball on that far side of the field with Gordon Smith, and Gordon Smith goes up towards the line, and he's held there. And Maurice Bamford, the Great Britain coach, he must have seen many exciting moments, Maurice, but I suspect that this one's getting to him. Gavin Miller now to Gordon Smith, to Gary Prome. Will he make it a hat-trick of tries? No, he won't. But will Lydiot get in? Yes, he does. Lydiot's in at the corner. Oh, and that's a late try for Hull Kingston Rovers. It was coming though, wasn't it, Maurice?
My word, John, what a game. What a game. A try. We've got 40 minutes and 32 seconds on our stopwatch now. They're well into injury time, and it's all going to hinge on John Dorahy's goal kick from the touchline. They call him Joe Cool, John. My word, he's got to be cool now. And if he kicks this, Hull Kingston have won it, and they will have pinched it, because Castleford have played exceptionally well. So too Hull Kingston Rovers. But my word, what a climax to a superb game.
It is indeed, Maurice, a climax, and my word. Nerves getting the better of everyone, I think, at the moment around this Wembley Stadium. What a nerve tingler. Castleford, don't forget, by the way, even though Lydiot's just nipped in at the corner there, still have the lead by 15 points to 14, and John Dorahy is making his own selection of a ball. He's called one of the ball boys across, and the ball boys, by the way, in this game of rugby league, they throw the ball back. Once the ball goes out of play, they throw another ball on, so he's always got several. I've never seen a goal kicker get the choice of one. However, he did. He makes his mark. John Joyner's wandering round there. I can see Joyner, I can see the rest of the Cas team standing in their own in-goal area, some of them hands on hips. George Fairbairn at this end of the field can't look. He's got his head down. It's his first time at Wembley. John Dorahay, meantime, he's a yard in from the touchline. He's 26, 27 yards back. He's kicking towards the end where the Rovers fans are. They'll let us know first whether this one goes over or not. The touch judges are both in position. He'll kick right-footed, Dorahay. 15 points to 14, Castleford in the lead. The ball's in the air. Has he kicked it? He hasn't. It's pulled it. It's short. Where's that hooter? Come on, let's hear that hooter here at the Wembley Stadium. We're 2.5 minutes into injury time. We're desperate for the hooter. Castleford lead by 15 points to 14. No goal from Dorahay, but it would be harsh indeed to say that because he missed it, Rovers won't win the cup. Castleford 15, Hull Kingston Rovers 14. It couldn't be closer, just a point between them. On the other occasions when Cas have won this Rugby League Challenge Cup, they had 3 points margin over Huddersfield, they had 5 against Salford, and they just had 5 against Wigan. Today, they've just got a 1 point margin. Martin Ketteridge will kick this. We're 3 minutes into injury time. Castleford lead, 15 points to 14. We're back underway. The ball landing in the arms of Gavin Miller, inside his own 25. Miller tries to go off his left foot, turns the ball back. It was a loose pass, but it got there. There's a run down this line for Peter Johnston. Peter Johnston turns inside. 2 Castleford men grab him. One's Robert Beardmore. The other one is Stuart Horton. David Watkinson goes to acting halfback. I thought I could hear the hooter then. Gavin Miller, a long ball to Gary Prom. Well, to nobody in particular. David Laws it is, in fact, who's come inside looking for work, who collects that ball in centre field. Play just where we want it at the moment, inside the Hull Kingston Rovers half of the field. That Castleford, I suspect, desperate for possession. And George Fairbairn knocks on. The ball's come out on the Castleford side, has it? What will Mr Whitfield decide here? Where's the man with the hooter? He must have a blister on his finger, the man who's poised to press that hooter. We're desperate for the hooter. 44 minutes gone on my watch. Castleford 15, Hull Kingston Rovers 14. 3 tries apiece. At the moment, it's all down to Robert Beardmore's drop goal. That's the difference between the sides. The scrum going down halfway between the 25-yard line and the halfway line. It comes out on the Hull Kingston side. We're still waiting for the hooter. I do swear the man with the hooter has definitely got a blister on his finger. Hull Kingston Rovers desperately trying to move this ball away. Dorahay to Lydiate, the 26-year-old, the man who scored a try just a couple of minutes from time. In fact, it was almost on time. We're still playing injury time here at Wembley. We're 4.5 minutes into injury time. Mike Smith, who's had a quiet afternoon, to Laws. There's a knock-on for definite there. The hooter's gone now. Castleford have won the cup. No question about that, and they're good value for it too. And the Rovers players can't believe it. One man's gone straight down flat on his back. He just can't believe it. But there's no question about it. The people who are jumping up and down are the ones in the dark blue Wembley.
So the cup was on its way back to Weldon Road in West Yorkshire for the 4th time in the history of the Castleford club. They'd outplayed the favourites on the day, beaten the team that everyone said was the most professional in the game. On the pitch, the players of the respective teams presented a totally contrasting picture. Rovers were thoroughly dejected, while Cas looked towards the royal box.
John Joyner, after a fabulous career in this game of Rugby League, will be the first man up the 39 steps to take the Rugby League Challenge Cup from Her Royal Highness the Princess Alexandra. They've also got the Lance Todd Trophy winner in Bob Beardmore, and Bob looks like he's going to be number 2 going up the steps. It's a wee bit difficult for us to see from here, because of course we're directly above the royal box, but I can see the Cas players, they're waving to their friends, their relatives, their loved ones in the crowd. Hull Kingston Rovers, as the losers always do here at Wembley, standing around. They've nowhere to go. They're receiving consolation from the other members of the squad, the people who aren't playing. There's arms round shoulders, there's pats on the back, but there's no question about it. If you're going to come to Wembley, you might as well be a winner. 15 points to 14, Castleford have taken the 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup. They're making their way towards the steps now. In fact, Joyner, yes, they're on the way up the steps. I can't see them lift the cup, but I'll certainly hear them lift it. 3 cracking tries. Tony Marchant, Robert Beardmore and Jamie Sandy. In reply, 2 good tries for Gary Prom and 1 from John Lydiate. Ketteridge kicked a goal, and so did John Dorahay. But the difference between the sides, that Bob Beardmore drop goal, and that's the cheer in the background that says that John Joyner, after a long and fruitful career in the game, has achieved the one honour that's eluded him. He's lifted the Rugby League Challenge Cup, and he'll be making his way down the steps very shortly. He will come back into view, and the Castleford fans are loving this. They're away to our left, by the way. They're over the tunnel end of the ground, and by word, when those Castleford players come out and when they run round with that cup, that end of the ground is going to go absolutely potty. Castleford, in the meantime, are down the steps with the cup. They're going to milk that applause. I can see Keith England there, and I can see Ian French with their arms round each other. Tony Marchant, a try scorer. I can see Dave Dalton doing an interview there with Kevin Ward and Big Wardy. My word, he'll be loving this, because he's had a good career as well. Joyner there, lifted up by his joyous teammates. Wardy's missing this. Joyner's showing him the cup. My word, what a great moment this is for Rugby League, as Morris said, very especially for West Yorkshire. And the Rovers boys at the moment, of course, they're collecting their losers' medals on the way back down the steps. They look totally disconsolate. Having said that, someone once wrote, it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. They probably won't feel that at the moment. However, they have been to Wembley, and they're going to go off to that end of the ground, that west end of this Wembley Stadium, to get the applause from their fans. And they'll get it too, because they're good fans from East Hull. They love their Rovers team, and it's a sad sight, as Morris said, but there has to be a loser. 15 points to 14, Castleford have done it. Terrific action here at the Wembley Stadium this afternoon.
So scenes of pure happiness on the pitch and the terraces. And from our own Maurice Bamford, praise for two outstanding sides.
Well, what a cracking game we've had again today, John. What excitement, what a pulsating finish. Last year we had the superb footballing exhibition from Wigan and Hull. This year we've had an absolutely blistering final from Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers. Hull Kingston Rovers are definite favourites a fortnight before the final. Suddenly, tragic injury to Hogan, the star second row forward. Roger Millwall, the coach, had to rejig his whole side to get a team out here at Wembley. Castleford, the underdogs, what a performance. Went to Wigan, beat the mighty Wigan at Central Park in the earlier rounds. Scraped through against Oldham in the semi-final, and come here today, and what a final. For my money, ranks with last year's superb footballing final, but on a different level. This was a game of guts, determination, dedication, and that both coaches, Millward and Reilly, should be thoroughly proud of their players. What a superb game.
Kevin Ward just strides out of a tackle. He gives it to Tony Marchant. Tony Marchant's going down the right wing. He looks, he turns the dummy. This could be the first try. Tony Marchant, he's in! And it's set Kelly up. Kelly's giving it to Proman. Hull Kingston Rovers are going to get back in. The tackle comes late. Gary Prome goes in for the try for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Robert Beardmore with a little grubber kick through, and has Beardmore got the pace to get the try? He has, and he does. Oh, what a great try for Robert Beardmore.
Join of the half break. He goes down the middle. He turns it into Jamie Sandy. Jamie Sandy jinks one way. He's going for the line. There's three men on him. Jamie Sandy is in. He is. But is there a bit of space there? And Prome has gone in the corner. Has he got the try? Yes, he has.
Gavin Miller now to Gordon Smith, to Gary Prome. Will he make it a hat-trick of tries? No, he won't. But will Lydiot get in? Yes, he does. Lydiot's in at the corner. Oh, and that's a late try for Hull Kingston Rovers.
Had John Dorahay kicked the goal, it would have been a different story to tell. It's history now that he didn't, and Castleford won the 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final by 15 points to 14.
George Fairbairn at this end of the field can't look. He's got his head down. It's his first time at Wembley. John Dorahay, meantime, he's a yard in from the touchline. He's 27 yards back. He's kicking towards the end where the Rovers fans are. They'll let us know first whether this one goes over or not. The touch judges are both in position. He'll kick right-footed, Dorahay. 15 points to 14, Castleford in the lead. The ball's in the air. Has he kicked it? He hasn't. It's pulled it. It's short. Where's that hooter? Come on, let's hear that hooter here at the Wembley Stadium. We're 2.5 minutes into injury time. We're desperate for the hooter. Castleford lead by 15 points to 14.
The highlights of the 1986 Silk Cut Challenge Cup final were brought to you by John Boyd, along with Dave Dalton and the Great Britain coach Maurice Bamford.